What's up, you guys? I'm Eric and welcome back to my channel. No, you grow up. Today's video is going to be a video that I never really had intentions of doing. I never really had intentions of even doing types of videos like this. I just got a figure that I just kind of want to talk about a little bit. So you can probably tell by clicking on this video that it's going to be the Super7 Slash figure that just came out. If you've seen any of my old videos, you've probably heard me talk about this figure a lot and how excited I was for it. The Super7 or the Playmate Slash is my favorite Playmates figure of all time. So again, I just had really high expectations for this figure. And then before we get into things real quick, I just want to shout out Kootenai King, I think that's how you say your name. Him and me have kind of been going back and forth talking about this figure. He got it right away from BBTS. I usually order my Super 7 figures in complete waves from BBTS, so that way they just all ship at once. I don't even have them go to my pile of loot. And typically I feel like the whole waves have been showing up faster, but like the wave 6 figure hit first. So yeah, I ended up canceling that and just ordering all the figures individual because I just couldn't wait to get this figure. I'm usually a pretty patient person, but for this one I just couldn't wait any longer. So yeah, with all that stuff out of the way, we'll get to talking about this figure.
Alright you guys, so this figure is definitely my most anticipated release of the entire year. Like I said, I couldn't even wait to get him with the rest of my figures. I had to get him as soon as I saw everybody else getting them. It's the first time that I've really ever had that jealousy factor, and just knowing that he was available, I had to order him. Said my expectations were just very, very high for this figure. I think very highly of this line, and it just did not disappoint. This figure came out amazing. I cannot believe how good he looks. They just took everything that was awesome about the original Playmates figure and did exactly what the Horsemen do and just cranked it up to 11. Again, I just have to praise the Horsemen one more time for how amazing of a job they do. You can tell whoever worked on this figure loved this figure as a kid, and it just comes out in what they do. They are just so passionate. This is one of the best sculpted figures I've ever had. Alright, we'll take a look at his accessories that he comes with real quick here. I never break apart the weapons racks that come with the figures. I really appreciate the effort by Super 7 using those old school Playmates colors and stuff like that, but I prefer going with the newer school stuff. Like all Super 7 figures, he comes with those 3 sets of hands, the open hand, the fist hand, and then the 2 gripping hands with the north-south movement and the east-west movement. And again, I don't mind getting all those hands. I doubt it really adds that much to the cost. I think they're just gonna charge whatever they want to charge at the end of the day for these figures. But his weapons are probably some of my favorite that they've done for sure. Just the hot pink that they stuck with for like the base of the weapons just makes them pop so much, and they just look so damn good. The Horsemen just killed it with these. The only criticism I have is on the mace type weapon. You definitely see like a break in the mold and stuff like that, but other than that, these weapons came out awesome. Alright, so looking at the figure himself, like I said, I just was not let down at all here. My expectations were very, very high, and I feel like Super 7 and the Horsemen just delivered on this one. This guy, his sculpt is perfect. Like, I have no complaints with his sculpt whatsoever. I like that he's finally beefy. He's a lot bigger than the regular turtles. And everything that made that original sculpt is just made 10 times better on this one. I went with the original head sculpt. I definitely prefer that one. And again, it just looks so much better than the original, the way they went about the teeth and how they're just kind of recessed back in there. I did have a little bit of pink just on one of my teeth, and I ended up scraping it off, so it ended up being fine. But other than that, this head sculpt came out awesome. He probably has my favorite head sculpt in the line. It just looks so menacing and sinister, and this is my favorite version of Slash for sure. This was the first one I ever saw. The figure was the first version I ever knew about, and he's just my favorite iteration ever. And like I said, I can just not be happier with how this figure turned out. They just put in so much attention to detail, and we'll kind of talk about things as we go around the figure, but just like the scarring in the shell and the bumps on the skin. I like how they went with the dirty wash on the figure too. I've heard a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but some people just don't like the dark green that they went with, but I actually like it a lot. I just feel like the dark green mixed with the like cracks and cuts that are sculpted in his skin with the dirty wash just makes him look so much more evil and sinister than he would if he was a little bit brighter. And again, I also feel like it just helps his belt and his accessories and his shoulder pads pop so much more with those bright colors. Taking a look at his belt, I had the black belt growing up. The one I have now for Playmates is the black belt because that's the one that I had when I was a kid. I like how they kind of did the combination. They went with the black base and it has the pink highlights to it, and just the skulls and everything on it just looks so good. I like how they went with the ability to plug in the throwing stars and stuff on the sides, so you can take them off. They were very hard to peg on, so they're gonna stay on there forever. And again, if they just got little things like that just a little bit better, it would just be a lot cooler. But again, I just appreciate the effort that they weren't just molded on, that you could plug them on there. That was a really cool touch. Coming around to the other side, same thing, you got that other star on over there. And then I have the grenades plugged in here. I haven't watched any other reviews because I didn't want anything really spoiled for me. Like I said, I'd kind of just read some stuff here and there in Facebook groups, but I haven't watched like a full-on review on this figure. I don't know how these grenades plug in, but I have them both hooked here, and then that knife in the back. I wish for the other knife that they would have went with the hot pink on the handle. It's kind of annoying that it's the only one of his like original weapons that doesn't have the hot pink touch, because again, that's just one of my favorite things. He's that dark color and just all the hot pink just pops off of him so well. But still, I like that little jagged side that he has. I'll keep that in the back there. And then the main weapon of choice that I'll have on the front is that like half knife dagger type weapon with like the jagged or the spiked brass knuckle on the front. Just taking a look at the back of the figure, again, they did an amazing job on the sculpt. The shell and the spikes on it just look so good. The contours and the shell and the design, they're sink in there, and it's just such, like I said, I just can't get over how good of a job they did. The back is the one place I do have some criticism though. The spikes on top, the deco is just kind of hit or miss on those, and that's kind of the only real issue that I have with the actual deco on this figure. Everything else is done pretty well. Like I said, other than that little bit of pink that I had on the tooth, but that was pretty easy to scratch off. But yeah, like I said, just had the deco a little bit more on point here on the back, on the spikes on the shell. This would probably be a perfect figure. Again, even on my Muckman that I praise so much, there's still some deco issues on that one, probably even more so than this figure. Like I said, he's 99.9% perfect outside of these little imperfections here on the back. I don't know why, but his tail stood out to me a lot more than on the Playmates figure. And again, like, I appreciate the articulation, it only swivels back and forth, but again, that's just a nice little touch. Alright, so just some of my final thoughts. Like I said, my expectations could not have been any higher with this figure, and they were definitely met, if not exceeded. This is a 99.9% perfect figure for me. Where he falls in my rank of favorite figures now. So after I get all the Wave 5 and the Wave 6 figures, and that Undercover Rat figure, I plan on doing a Super 7 top 10, so you can kind of find out then. But I mean, without a doubt, he's probably in my top 5 favorite figures of all time right now. Again, I have that recency bias going, but I just think the Horsemen, they just killed it on this one. Like, again, I cannot praise those guys enough. You're probably going to hear me sucking their dicks quite a bit. I cannot help it, but they just do such amazing work. And again, that they're working so closely with a childhood brand of mine. Like, I just cannot be more thankful that that's who Super 7 chose to work with, because again, they are doing these figures more than justice. And again, just thank you to the Horsemen and Super 7 for getting them to do the sculpts for this line. Alright, you guys, so that's going to wrap things up for this one. I had a lot of fun making this one. I'm not going to do figure reviews for every figure that I ever get, but ones that I am excited about, I probably will talk about. And again, this is about as excited as I will ever be for a figure, so I just wanted to talk about him. Again, he's a better version of my favorite figure from my childhood, so yeah, I was just very excited to talk about him. I had fun making this video. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I just went over 400 subscribers today, so hopefully 2 people don't leave and make me look like a chump before this video comes out. But again, just thank you guys for subscribing and watching my videos and commenting and liking, doing all that other stuff. Like, it just means a lot. Again, I'm just having a blast doing this, so hopefully I'll be able to get another couple videos out here before this week's over. So yeah, everybody take it easy, be safe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.